you
Well,
singing?
it's so confusing because there's like everybody's trying to sound like Ronnie James Dio. So I've just recently heard that Ronnie James Dio's rejoined. It could be another fake. I don't know.
Maybe it's because they can't sound like Ozzy. Right now, let's play a metal block from Motley Crue, including Dr. Feelgood, Wild Side, Anarchy in the UK. But first, here is the 1991 remix version of Home Sweet Home from Decade of Decadence. Watching a little bit of the great Randy Rhoads in that video for Crazy Train.
Yeah, would you believe it? This next March, I believe it's the 10th year.
March 19th.
But March 19th is the 10th anniversary of his death. You know.
Sure doesn't seem like 10 years.
And we were playing a gig at, you got the information.
Yeah, March 19th, Ozzy's going to be playing at the LA Sports Arena.
And the proceeds for that gig are going to help to build him a tomb. And the reason for that is because where he's buried, people keep defacing the grave. And we're going to have it so no one can get to it, you know.
Because I guess fans try to tear a piece of it.
It's like they keep taking the plaque and like Ozzy rules and Randy rules. And it's a very, you know, not nice. It's not very nice.
So the fans, Ozzy doesn't like when you do that.
I mean, you know, the guy was one, you know, and even when I play, like, there was one song in particular when I get on stage, like, when I sing Goodbye to Romance, sometimes I close up because my head flashes back to when we first wrote that together in my old house, you know. And it's like the whole tape runs, and it's like, and I have to get the audience to sing along with me because I mean, it's like real emotional, you know.
With so much history between being in Ozzy Osbourne and in Sabbath, when you're singing certain songs, do they bring back old times? And you can remember, like, when you're performing a song?
More so with my solo career than with the Black Sabbath career, because with Black Sabbath, all I was a singer with the band, and that's the way I was treated. And being solo, it's not that I had more control. It was my band, and I didn't feel like the lower end of the scale, because being in Black Sabbath, I didn't have any musical knowledge of music, like, so it just came from my head. But Randy was very good in the respect that he would sit with me and I would hum the melodies and he would work out the chord sequence, and it was such a relief to get the frustration out of me. Right. It was like a match made in heaven, you know. It's one of those things that, you know, it's like a phenomena that, you know, everybody, I believe, has one real good thing, or a lot of people have a lot of good things, but for once in my life, I'd found someone to open another door, you know. And since then, it's been great.
Wow. It's going to be back. Stick around. It's going to be a great show, Headbangers Ball. Right now, it's time for a metal block of Slayer now. And a band who is opening up for Ozzy. And, of course, we are here with Ozzy and Jack Osbourne, the famous shark diver.
It's not suicidal tendencies.
No, but we're going to play them and Infectious Grooves.
Oh, Infectious. I thought I'd correct you there.
See, I was hinting to them.
Oh.
You just blew the surprise for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The other night I went to a club and saw a band called Leonard Skinhead, which was, I guess, a side thing with Zach playing guitar and singing.
I don't know what he does that. He does that for a hobby, I think.
He was doing like Leonard Skinner songs and Allman Brothers songs, and I mean, I was surprised that not only is Zach a brilliant guitar player, good singer too.
Yeah.
Now, when this album is more of a band collaboration, I mean, you work with Zach and
you know,
Randy.
people have been saying, like, this is Ozzy, my most personal album. Well, how can it be my most personal album when Lemmy from Motorhead wrote the lyrics, most of the lyrics to Mama, I'm Coming Home?
Oh, that I didn't know.
I Don't Want to Change the World, Desire, and Hellraiser, you know, and only the lyrics, we collaborated on that, and then the rest of the whole of the album was a total band collaboration. In fact, Mikey Arnez was the last guy to join because Geezer split. And he was got the bass of No More Tears, which was the last song we wrote, you know, which was you know, we've been working at it for like a year and a half, you know.
Right.
Because we wanted an album out that we were happy with every track.
Are you happy with every track?
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to say a couple of my favorite, well, we'll do that in a little bit. So stick around, we're going to be back with Ozzy right after the break. Really like the record. And I'd like to just pick out a couple of songs that I like, and maybe you could tell me a little bit about the songs.
Yeah.
For instance, Zombie Stomp.
It was just about, you know, it's self-explanatory, people getting out of it, and it's like you go to like any other clubs, you know. You've got a club, you've seen a few zombies stomping around.
Now, I Don't Want to Change the World, which live, it seems like a lot of people, old fans and new fans, really dig that song.
Well, it's kind of an interesting song in the respect that my formula used to be like verse, chorus, middle eight, solo, verse, chorus, and out. And out of the blue came like this extra chorus after the solo, and it takes you on a kind of a ride. And I love doing that live.
Yeah, because live, I mean, I saw it last night or the other night, and it was a great song to watch live. Yeah. And everybody's singing along as much as they were singing along with the other ones.
I know, that's what absolutely amazed me, you know. It's an easy gig for me. They sing their gig for me.
Just go ahead, you take it.
You know, I mean, No More Tears, they all sing that. And it warms the cockles of my heart when I hear them singing it.
It's funny, if I didn't know the songs that were on the new albums, when you've done some of the songs, like Desire, which you play live, you would think, oh, this must be one of the classic Ozzy songs, because everybody knows every word to it, and it's one of the songs that's on the new album.
It's like, but when you think of the age group of the audience, and when I do War Pigs, and I do a line, and they do a line, maybe it's because of, what was that band who covered it last year?
Faith No More.
Faith No More. Maybe it's that they research.
And I think that it's also because it's a classic rock and roll song.
Yeah, I mean, that's like 20 years old,
right.
You know, same as Paranoid. People say, don't you ever get sick and tired of playing Paranoid? I still get a buzz out of that, and More Pigs, you know.
But it doesn't, when you hear the song, it doesn't sound like an oldies. It sounds like like it could be.
Well, nothing's original anymore. Everything what you hear has all been done before, you know. Like. I mean, there's nobody original.
I'm going to be back finding out more stuff, but right now, here's a block starting it off, and I don't have to tell you how much I love both of these bands because you're probably sick of me saying it. An old one from Suicidal Tendencies with Possessed to Skate, and also Infectious Grooves. Now, what is the tie? You probably know. Robert Trujillo and Mike Muir are in Infectious Grooves, and incidentally, Infectious Grooves is also the band that has been opening up for you.
Yeah, and also, I may be appearing on one of their videos soon.
Probably Therapy? A matter of fact, Ozzy sings background vocals on one of the Infectious Grooves songs.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, when I first saw it in Suicidal Tendencies, I thought their image to me was a bit wacky, but then when I met them, they're really great guys, and they're not out there, they're not out of their minds. They're really serious about what they're playing, but they get it on. You know?
Mike Mears told me several times that one of the thrills of his life was singing Therapy and then just looking at you doing background vocals. He's going, here is Ozzy singing background on, and
oh, it was an honor for me. That's the part of it that I really enjoy, is just going in and doing it. Like, I don't know, you know, I did a thing on a Gary Moore album, and I didn't have any pressure. I just sang it, and it was great, you know. And with Lita Ford's thing as well, I just went in, sang it, no pressure. It wasn't my song, so, you know, it was on her album. So, you know, it's great. It was the fun side of it.
Well, let's play a video from the band opening up for Ozzy. Here's Infectious Grooves with Punk It Up.
It's like kind of my goodbye to romance was my goodbye to Sabbath. And Mama, I'm Coming Home. It's like the farewell tour kind of thing, you know. But I love the song, and I think it sounds great.
Somebody told me that song was sort of written for Sharon, who's your wife and manager.
Yeah. Mama, she's Mama. You know?
Great.
I mean, I love her. I mean, nobody thought that we'd last as long as we did. I have. We've been through some hell of a crisis. I mean, when I was in the wild days, I just go on these disappearing months, you know, and come crawling back, stinking like a brewery, and with death looming over my head. And she's had to put up with a lot with me. Any person that lives with a crazy guy like me.
What was the wildest story that isn't true that you've heard about Ozzy Osbourne?
Oh, I mean, Ozzy wouldn't go on stage until he cut the throats of 15 puppy dogs, and it's endless. And you know, it's like, I mean, it's part of the business. So you know, people want to believe that, you know, because everybody likes a bad guy. You look at history, you know, Robin Hood. I'm sure Robin Hood didn't rob the rich to save the poor. I'm sure he mugged everybody that went through his patch of the woods, you know.
He gave some of it to a couple poor friends.
Yeah.
We're going to be back talking to Ozzy, and don't leave, because Miracle Man is coming up with Ozzy Osbourne. We've talked briefly about how important Zach is, for instance, in the band, but I'd just like to mention, you know, ask you, What does Randy do to the band? Randy's been in Ozzy for a while.
Randy was as much of a collaborator as anybody in the band on this writing this last album. I mean, drummers never seem to get any credit, you know. They're just looked upon as being like beating machines. But he came up with the melody line for "No More Tears." He came up with a lot of stuff, you know. I mean, and you know, he deserves a little bit of like recognition. So does Mikey.
Yeah, Mike is the newest member. I mean, and another hockey fan.
It's like so it's always the guitar player and the singer that get all the credit, but it shouldn't be that way, you know. You know, and that's what made me decide that the next project I do musically will be a total collaboration with other musicians, because I don't know what I'm. So, you know, can you play like a what key? You know, X. You know, I don't know.
Great. If you want to write to us here at the Headbangers Ball, believe me, we love to get your letters. I'm going to give you the address right now. It's Headbangers Ball, care of MT. Time for the very last video of the evening. And we'll be back for one last segment right after this. Here is Miracle Man from Ozzy Osbourne. That was Miracle Man from Ozzy. And once again, I want to remind you real quick, Slayer deadline, December 2nd. I want to show you something kind of funny. I went to the Ozzy Osbourne concert the other night, and here's the laminates. And I want to thank Missy from the Universal Amphitheater. But look at the spelling right here. O-Z-Z-I-E. So maybe this is a collector's item. Do you notice that?
That always
That's how they spell Ozzy Nelson.
I mean, it's like Ozzy and Harriet, isn't it? You know.
Well, I also
Ozzy.
Might add on the back it says R-I-C-K-Y. So that's okay. That happens to me all the time. So, anyways, you're doing the little tour. I mean, it's not a little tour, and then going into the arena soon.
I'm gonna go home for Christmas, come back, and we're gonna bust balls, man. We're gonna just keep on going until I bring a hearse for me. You know. I'm gonna keep. I want to go to Russia. I want to go to everywhere. I want to just keep, because it's my last tour, you know. I'm gonna it's a burnout, you know, tour till we drop, you know.
And again, the shows are great. I want to thank you a lot. It was definitely a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure, man. It's been a wonderful.
And any advice that you'd like to give some of the millions and millions of Ozzy fans out there?
Keep the faith, baby. Just keep the faith.
Jack, say anything out there, Jack?
Bye.
There you go. I'm Ricky Rackman. We'll see you next Saturday night. Remember to keep one foot in the gutter, one fist in the goal. Good night.
All right, you better turn on those lights and lock your doors, because coming up next here on MTV, it's This Is Horror.